Alright, hi, this is a channel update for January 2021. Very briefly, here is a couple of numbers that might be of interest to you. The first is, as I record this, 339. That's how many subscribers I have here on YouTube. 2,700 is around the number of followers I have on Twitter. 25 is the number of hits my blog gets on a peak day. There are occasional spikes on the blog, but broadly speaking, 25 is a good example. There is also another number here, 30, which is about the number of people, give or take, there's some ebb and flow, who support me on Patreon and pay me some money to just keep making stuff on the internet that they like, which they have mercifully blessed me with doing, and I greatly appreciate the state of play there. Now, these numbers are all reasonably stable, which means that conventionally defined, I'm not doing very well, because I'm not increasing my population on Patreon, and I'm not increasing my Twitter following, and I'm not increasing my YouTube subscriber count. These platforms all give you ways of tracking your followers and the ways that you interface with those followers that are designed to make you think in terms of regular, constant growth. And it's kind of true. I do look at other channels with much higher subscriber counts, and I wonder what exactly I could possibly be doing to just get a little bit more growth than I've got now. Like, sure, the jump up to 600,000, 500,000, those big numbers where people have sustaining jobs on YouTube, that's one thing. But in my case, like, what does 500 look like? And I know that I'm not alone in this. Down at the bottom end of YouTube, there are a lot of people who are struggling with making just these small milestones to make themselves feel like they can keep putting money and time into this process. I'm very lucky in that I have a job and I live in a country where I have some degree of safety and social safety nets, so that if I do need to, I can turn to help around me for money, which means that YouTube is not ever going to have to be my primary method of supporting myself, and I really wouldn't want it to be. But I am keenly aware that if I have 5,000 subscribers and I share the work of one of my friends, that's lifting them up, that's giving them access to subscribers that they don't currently have. So it does weigh on me a little that I'm not very good at acquiring more followers. This is also frustrating for me as someone who believes in the challenge of discoverability, that there are all sorts of wonderful things in the world that I will enjoy that I don't know are out there because I have no way to find the kinds of things I want to look for. We live in a world dictated by algorithms and mathematical systems as constructed by kind of some really weird, biased people, and often in service of people who want to find ways to extract money from us, which means that for all there may be something awesome waiting just over the next hill, as it were, if I don't have someone on the other side of that hill willing to sell me something, I might never be drawn to go look over that hill. It's all a bit of a problem. Now, there are some things that conventional YouTube suggests you do to help grow your user base, and it's not a bad set of principles to work from. One example is the call to action, where you tell people, hey, subscribe to this channel, or like this channel, or share this channel with people. That's a standard piece of YouTube pattern, but that thing is, that's literally useful. People are more likely to react and be spurred to action by the person they are paying attention to asking them to do it. I don't think that there's anything inherently wrong with calls to action. I just don't do them. One other thing that YouTube as a service asks you to do is to be topical. It wants you to engage with its platform on its level and with its language. And that often means wanting you to engage with trends and ideas as the platform is engaging with them. Which is why, for example, lots of people are doing covers of sea shanties right now. When it comes to the way I talk about video games, what I'm doing is what I jestingly call cold take journalism, where I'm explicitly trying to make things without the necessary pressures of immediate market-driven journalism to push me. This means that this kind of topicality is kind of inherently against what I'm doing. This desire from YouTube, this pressure to like, hey, you should definitely be covering this short list of 5 important topics, is just not the kind of thing I do or the kind of thing I want to do. It's more expensive for a start to just buy the most recent games and engage with them quickly, and make sure you have the free time to do the turnaround on them, and like all that stuff is just a terrible idea for me, especially because I think that's one of the worst ways to get engaged with games critically. Pressure doesn't actually make it easier for you to understand games in these complex, interconnected ways. And if I need to, for example, go and read Baudrillard to get a extra take on Dark Souls, that's time a fast turnover journalism model just doesn't afford me. One of the other elements is that YouTube does not have what I call an inherent audience. The idea when I first started putting things on the internet was that if you put things out there and you just keep making what you're making with energy and drive and you love what you're doing, eventually your audience will find you. And more I find that that's hilariously horseshit. What really happens is some people get found by an audience, and hopefully the alchemy happens there and they wind up making more. This has been the success story behind lots of people who have made success out of things like YouTube or viral novels or interesting viral Twitter accounts. The problem is, statistically speaking, those are all the outliers. The current model of how to do well at these things is essentially telling you you should win the lottery a few times. The way of engaging with YouTube is essentially a form of rolling dice. I'm hoping to roll high numbers, and the only way to get those high numbers is to just keep rolling. That's acceptable as long as the process of rolling the dice is fun. As long as I'm enjoying what I'm making, that's okay. So instead of looking at YouTube as an audience that I can tap into and hopefully like expand my cachet and make my work get connected and show it to the people who will love it if they actually get a chance to see it, what I have to instead do is consider YouTube as a form with its own limitations and its own values, and then see what I can do that I like working within those values. What then kind of content do I make on YouTube that I actually like? I think broadly speaking, there are three kinds of video that I can make, that I do make, and that I like. The first is these conversational videos. I've had a couple of them now, where I invite a friend on and ask them to spend some time with me talking about a subject that's dear to them through the lens of a video game. This is particularly, for example, talking to Corey about Katana Zero, or talking to Rachel about Destiny 2. These videos are especially easy for me because there are things that my instinct is to do that are more work that I actually shouldn't do. So for example, with the Destiny video, I am presenting Rachel's words, and I want Rachel's words to come forward. So if I'm going to put any visuals for that video, I can't have them detract from what she's saying, and I can't have them influence what she's saying so that you perceive her opinions based on images that I added to the work. The other thing is, I don't have the game in question, so I can't just put video footage on there, because that would be something I've had to acquire from somewhere else, and even then, that then starts adding that context in ways that I don't necessarily have control over. So instead, that's why you get videos like that, with this steady, smooth visuals, lots of pan and scan, and I think that's fine. Then there are the video essays. Now, there's no strict length on a video essay, and I actually think that it's kind of disrespectful of an audience's time to demand 45 minutes to 90 minutes to talk about what's in a game, especially if what you're doing could have been edited down. So I try and make mine 5 to 10 minutes. I try to make them about a subject where I can bring some expertise and provide some insight. And these ones tend to be much less focused on how I played the game and more stuff I can connect this game to in a greater sense. This is things like my Mirror's Edge video on platform capitalism and my Skyrim video on the nature of language. Finally, the third type I do are the Let's Play ones, where I do just record myself engaging with a game and talking aloud to myself as I do. These are obviously one of the easiest types of videos to make, but I've made a lot of them and thrown them out because I just don't think they're very interesting after the fact, and in some cases I didn't like the game enough that I wanted to promote it. While I did commit to, with Grey Matter, giving that game a shot, and just hitting a wall straight away, which was deeply embarrassing, I figured it was better to put that out there and just like admit my own failings, rather than like trying to coerce the video into something more interesting than it was. I find that Let's Play is more and more becoming a social thing. that Twitch wants to be involved in this kind of stuff, that like streaming is a thing that'd be about it, but I don't have that set up right now, and I don't have an audience. Because if I did start streaming games, that doesn't mean anyone would come along to talk to me while I played them. Nonetheless, I quite liked it when I was doing things like playing Swindle on the regular, and I quite liked it with the Gloom Hollow video, because those were both interesting to engage with repeatedly, and I was able to give a complete experience rather than just hitting a wall early. In the end, what I'm planning on doing this year is more of the stuff I already do, but I'm also trying to make sure that with that recipe, that formula of those types of videos, that I don't do 2 in a row of the same type. Hopefully this means that I'll be bringing more people forward, I'll be doing more conversational videos, but I won't be doing like 3 or 4 conversational videos back to back. I hope going forward that there'll be a little more variety, and if that variety makes it easier to make videos, I might be able to produce more than 1 video a month on the regular. Finally, I'm planning on revisiting some of my old GamePile videos from my blog and using the existing article as a script for a video, and then seeing the way that translating an existing long-form script to a video essay format works in the context of a different platform where I am already comfortable and confident with the text as it is written. As it stands right now, GamePile videos are often very tightly constrained by my need to get a number of them done a month, and that means that I will sometimes rip through a game really quickly, think to myself, oh, I should have recorded that because I've got a good idea for a video essay based on this, but I don't have the time to go back and replay the whole game in order to get the footage I would need in order to make that video essay. So that's a bit of a bummer, and I'm going to see if revisiting old work will let me do that kind of thing now that there's been some time and space for those articles to breathe. In the end, I want to keep making this kind of stuff, but I also want to make sure I'm making the kind of stuff I like making and not trying to make things that YouTube wants me to make more of to make more YouTube. I hope you're interested in seeing what comes next.